Well, here we are, and the noticeable drama here is the number one bike is missing. Yes, indeed. Rob Whittle heard this morning that Rob was having mechanical problems, and they looked to have been a disaster for him, and he's missed his place on the front row. So instead of having 8 to get away, there's only been the 7. Watch for what we call the split start as our 125s get ready to fire up with the 15 of Wellington's Rogan Chandler on pole position. Next to him, 21, Daniel Harris, followed by Chris Kane looking all the class out there wide, and Ashley Weller to get a good start as well. Good, nice to see Ashley. But tell you what, Chris Kane, not the positive start that he would have wanted to do, but what a great lineup of our 125s, and as always, the Steve Ward, dominant man of mainland 125 racing. So a good swarm of those 125s. Watch them, I'm sure, all over each other as the day progresses. But our Pro Twin lineup, Rob Whittle, Bailey Berriton out there with Dennis Charlotte, Ben Rosendale, had some good winnings through the series last year. Carl Messiter, along with Nathan Jane, Dean Bentley and Ryan Bradshaw. So real interest this year, of course, in the Dan Ormsby Smash Palace sponsored class for these. Now you'll note on the program that we show Pro Twins as the race, and then the next one is Super Lights and 125s. When the entries were received, it was realised that perhaps the 125s were better placed to be with the Pro Twins. So that means that the Super Light B will be the class on their own. So you've got 3 classes, too many riders to all have in one actual race, but we have been able to split them into a 2 and a 1. And the best 2 and a 1 combination was seen by the officials to be a Pro Twin with the 125. So as you saw from the split start, completely separate in their lineup out there. So that gives us a great opportunity to just watch these 2 respective groups. So Pro Twins, a class that was in the making, but actually some bikes that are no longer manufactured, and talk with regards to the lightweight class potentially gaining a foothold in our racing program rather than this class. But hey, still early stages yet, and still, oh, there we go, one off outside on Dunlop, and that was a big skid from the 125. The rider is A-OK, got himself on there, thought for a minute he might have had his leg tucked in on that one, but luckily the bike had skidded away from him. The perfect fall, as you would say in any kind of race, because the bike parts with the rider, and it meant that man and machine looked to be A-OK. Spider's got it on the binoculars, and we go there to 21, Daniel Harris. Daniel Harris on the number 21 bike have been our rider to go down outside of Dunlop. Realised he's dropped it, realised there's no point in trying to get any advantage whatsoever and look for a restart. So doing all the perfect things and just saying, hey, I'm out of here, and back he goes. So 125 racing in our lineup today. So 125s, catch him on your program and look out for Daniel in our update. So our 125 class brought to us by Smash Palace, and proud to be sponsored, of course, also incorporating the Warren Guy Memorial Trophy, awarded for the most improved best up-and-comer, showing the most potential rider in the field. And maybe who knows, it's the likes of a Daniel Harris will be a contender, but will be less likely to be while on the ground as he is at the moment. So keen to look out for our update here as we look to our Pro Twin lineup, and the Pro Twins on the charge at the moment with the notable withdrawal of Rob Whittle. I've headed Rob into a couple of different directions today with regards to people that have Aprilia twin motorcycles. So maybe an opportunity to hopefully see him rectify the bike in time for more racing this weekend. Maybe not, but certainly he hasn't come all the way from Auckland or from the North Island just to sit out the rest of the racing and hopefully get the bike going again. He'd had problems at Manfield with a head gasket, got it repaired in time for Wanganui within 2 weeks of the Manfield round of the Suzuki Series, and here he is another 2 weeks later, and unfortunately mechanical problems for him again. So bad luck to Rob. Hope he can remedy things in time for more racing tomorrow. There is sleep's overrated, Rob, and maybe you can make it happen. Hey, Underground Brown, proud to be sponsors of our New Zealand Grand Prix and the Smash Palace 125 class out there, and our 125 riders keen to do the old-fashioned look down there. 62, 66, 62, and Chris Wallinger 66, and Chris Kane, the young man from Auckland, not getting a good start on the earnest hard work. A Grand Prix machine, Dunlop tired bike, but Chris just getting that little sneak in there. But keen to look out. I'm pretty sure Rogan Chandler still showing us he's a hot shot. So 2 races within the class, the Dan Ormsby Motorcycle Training and Smash Repairs sponsored lineup. As we talk about our Pro Twin, Dan Ormsby Motorcycle Training, of course, NZTA basic handling test, the CBTA restricted and full licenses, road and track based training, race schools as well. Dan Ormsby number 32's got it all. Info at motorcycle training motorcycletraining.co.nz, or you can call Dan on 980-8933, or just go to motorcycletraining.co.nz. Of course, officially linked to www.Ride Forever, an initiative of the ACC and part of that super cheap way to get extra motorcycle tuition in. So you'll all love it and all make an improvement. No matter what level of riding, you can always show the improvement from Dan Ormsby, Motorcycle Training Spider Staples, and the update of our Dan Ormsby Pro Twin lineup and our 125s out there. Unfortunately, didn't get a presentation for the sidecars.
Oh yeah, no, we got to have a talk to them. Yeah, we got to talk to all three things, and we reminded told Colin Buckley that they had such a massive drop in the lap record, and they're all happy. The boys out there, actually, you know, I mean, the people in second, third, what have we got to do to compete against this guy? Well, mate, nearly 2 seconds off the lap record, or at least well over 1 second. That's a big slice. So you can only improve from there. Back out to the Pro Twins 650 class there. They just come out of the hairpin, and it is the current New Zealand champion, #1. If you see a bike with the number 1 to 10, with the exception of Andrew Stroud, it is their position in the last year's New Zealand Superbike champion. These are reserved to that. Andrew's chosen to run the number 10, and he went to the 10th place getter from last season. That was Nick Cole from Hamilton, and said, do you mind if I run your number? So what I'm saying is the man out there on the number 1 is the current New Zealand champion in this class, and he is sandwiched between Bailey Perrotin, the two Manning-Bout glass bikes there, the Bailey Perrotin bike and indeed the Dennis Charlotte machine. You can see them going through. They're both coming into the dipper. So beautifully presented bikes, these Man-About glass ones. Look at Dennis Charlotte trying up on the inside. This is classic Dennis Charlotte, the Christchurch man, done 1,000 laps out here, probably done 10,000. Tries up onto the dipper and trying to get to Ben Rosendale, but Ben Rosendale just a little bit wide around there. They come onto the front straight. We might see a change of position between first and second. It is all Suzuki's, of course, out in the front there. I don't even know if we've got any Kawasaki's in the field. We must check that shortly. In fact, apart from the, no, there's the Aprilia, which should be out there, but that's sideline. Last year we had a couple of Kawasaki's. Roy Walker-Holt, he got second at the New Zealand Championships on a Kawasaki, and also we had Nikki Smith from New Plymouth. She's not coming down for the season, preferring to stick with the Suzuki series, and also doing some study to further her education. But I do see she's online playing in the chat room watching the New Zealand Superbike Championship. So no Kawasaki's out there. We look over there, they've done another lap, and coming into that hairpin again, no change of position. Bailey Perrotin, 2 years ago, he was New Zealand 250cc champion. Last year he came out at his first meeting here on a 600 and actually got right out into the front at times in the race. Had a bit of a difficult season where he had a number of crashes, some of them good, some not so good, and walked away at the end of the season a little bit disillusioned with motorcycle racing. He's had a year off, so the winter off and that, and come back, and it looks like he's come back nice and strong for the Man-About glass team there on the Suzuki SV 650s. Of course, Bailey Perrotin running the number 33. A bit of change of position there. Dennis Charlotte's got, oh no, there hasn't, sorry. I thought Dennis Charlotte had got through there into second spot, but Dennis's team's gone right up there. This is the same move as last lap. Neil Ritchie, you saw that?
Yes, I'm watching it. In fact, the last time I thought he'd pulled it off as well, but he's got it that time, and that's what perfection comes about with. When you're as good a rider as Dennis Charlotte, you can pull off those kind of moves. So well done. And the Dan Ormsby Motorcycle Training sponsored Pro Twin 650 Racing Field, and a great overtaking manoeuvre there on the Dunlop Dipper here at Ruapuna at the Mike Pero Motorsport Park, and good work. In fact, watching it now get the slipstream and watching that work going on, great to watch down there. The 84 Dennis Charlotte on the Man-About glass underground brown race supplies, Pirelli tyres, AGV helmets, RST leathers, supported Suzuki SV 650, and put a note on that one, because I think you're going to find a change in the lead, let alone going from third to second during that lap. You find by the next time we update, I'm sure he's gone to first place, and he has. He's gone to first place, There's the update. They head down to what was called Pothole Peeville, now called ICOM, as they head down towards the HPE hairpin here at Ruapuna, underneath the shadow of Ruapuna's Speedway on the opposite side to the road race circuit where we are, and through the corner nicely. 1, 2, 3, super fast, super quick, super exciting as we watch the run. There's the Charlotte advantage, looking so good, and the 125s all on their own as well with regards to the Smash Palace 125. And for those of you looking online, you'll be able to see, and there we go with 15, 66, 63. So 15 to take us past there, Rogan Chandler, 66 on Chris Kane, but look out for the 63 of Ashley Weller. Those two have been glued and all over each other, and again on their respective Honda RS125s, the only bike that seems to dominate. I think we had Marty Van Boomer was one that raced the Yamaha 125 for a while. There was probably up to 2 of them in the field, but the Honda RS 125 has been the dominant machine, and still good to see around 6 or 8 quality young guys on that little 125 machinery as they look to fire their way through. But I tell you what, the Dan Ormsby Motorcycle Training ProTwinsR12016 racing field, they're down here on the Rock FM Sweeker, coming out of reports. Of course, there's a corner to go into it, there's a corner to come out of it. That's the Avon City Ford corner, coming along the front main straight at the moment. And look at that with Charlotte making sure they can't get the advantage to slipstream over him. There goes the 84 as we look back then in the lineup to the 33 of Bailey Perrodin, and then the number 1 of Ben Rosendale, Ben out of Whangamata on the road lawn A1 Homes, Ctas RST leathers, Falco boots, no hair racing, Pirelli Sabaki chain bike. So the Whangamata man fighting his way for 3rd place. But I tell you what, giving us an idea of the quality of the machinery out there and just what good Pro Twin racing's all about, Spider, because you've got somebody as good as Dennis Charlotte, and we know with all the credentials, multi-times winner, and he at this stage is what, 3 bike lengths at best at any one point on the track over a young gun like Bailey Perrodin and somebody like Ben Rosendale, who last year was our Rookie of the Year. Great ride by those 3.
Yeah, definitely. And Dennis Charlotte, you know, he's a Cantabrian, but he was 2 years ago, he was New Zealand Superbike champion, and the year before that, I think it was the year before that, he was 600. So 2 New Zealand championships at least, right at the top end of it. He's also done 125s over the year. I mean, at Methven Street Races, I've seen him racing buckets, 250 production and a Superbike. So he doesn't care. If it's got handlebars and wheels, he's on that machine, and it doesn't show. He's not getting away, and that just shows you the quality of the riding from young Bailey Perrodin. As I say, he had a tough season last year. He's put that behind him, it looks like, and getting on with it. And Ben Rosendale. So 4 New Zealand championships in the last 3 seasons for these boys. You can't get better company than that, even though it is one of the slower classes of the day. Don't forget, there's also those 125s over there, a massive battle. And Rogan Chandler, he's another young guy that's got places to go. He went to his first ever cemetery circuit street racing on a 675 Triumph and a Norton Commando as well, and he'd only ridden the 675 Triumph twice before and out onto a street circuit. When you look at the size of Rogan Chandler, he must only be about 60 or 55 k's ringing wet. He's not a big boy, so for a young lad to manhandle and all that, there he is leading the 125 class, and done so well over the last couple of seasons on a 125 as well, the Upper Hutt teenager.
All right, there we go. In fact, just take an opportunity to look at his best time at a 142, and this is one of the things that I love looking about coming to Ruapuna. We see some of the lap times here, Spider, some of the lap records, 2012, 29, 2010, but look at this one, Steve Ward in 2003. That's now 13 years at a time of 138, and we've got a best time down here of something like 143. 5 seconds. That is massive in motorsport terms. 5 seconds to be away from Steve Ward's legendary lap record of 138.86 back here in 2003. So
yeah, well, remember the sidecar one held to about 2 years ago. That sidecar one that's just gone, I think it was only set about probably set 3 seasons ago, and that was held since 1995. That was 95 till right down to the early 2010s. That one held. So yeah, interesting, isn't it? Yeah. What's the key to it all?
Well, the key with the sidecar is potentially you're working with the later technology of a motorcycle. You're comparing a 125 to 125, and these models are still only really 80s and 90s versions. There's not even anybody, I think, with the 2000 model bike that we've got out there. I think they're all 90s models. Maybe there might be a 201 or something of the likes, but you're still talking about bikes that are 10 to 15 years old as well, Spider. So the lap records of 5 seconds are much harder in technology when they're more similar than this, rather than in sidecars where you can have an engine putting out a massive horsepower difference over a 10-year period. So the point of interest with regards to what the 125s are doing out there. Yes, indeed, our Smash Palace sponsored 125 racing, or checkered flag time, checkered flag to wave. Yes, indeed, it was down through there. And our update then of Charlotte, Bailey Perrodin and Ben Rosendale. They're all the aces, but I tell you what, the one I'm looking back to is still Rogan Chandler, because the advantage Rogan, not mega over those other 2, but certainly for the next best was great to watch as we see our number 8 down there of Ryan Bradshaw from Christchurch on the Scott Structural Man About Glass Automotive Concepts mobile curtain side services. Down here with 97 as well, Nathan Jane coming through, the North Harbour man on his Suzuki SV650, but keen to look out for this buzz of the Smash Palace 125s. And there we go, there's the 15, there it is, the buzz that goes past. You can hear the single cylinder 2-stroke, and that is the 15 of Rogan Chandler.